Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If y'all doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I pray y'all are having a great day and a great week so far. And I'm going to be honest, today's trying to take me out. It's trying to take me out. Um, Auntie Flowmaster is in town, man. Every time she tries to take your girl out, where I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to hear anything. I just want to be in the bed all day. But I'm not going to do that today. Amen. I made my bed. And once I make my bed, that means that I do not get back in it. Amen. I'm ready for daddy menopause to come. I'm ready for daddy menopause to come into my life because what is this? Like, I'm tired. I'm tired. It's been 30 years of this mess and I'm tired. And I've heard that menopause isn't any better, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Like, I'm willing to give it a chance, man, because it's too much. It's too much. Um, but I hope you guys are having a great day today. So far this week for me has been okay. One thing that is happening very rapidly is it's about to be the end of the school year. Like the kids have like a little over a month left, if that, like, and there's some days, uh, I think there's another day this month where they don't have, like, it's a no school day. So, this school year flew by. It flew by, y'all. And I'm just like, it's all been a blur. Like, it just seems like they just started school. To me, like it seems like the fall just started and they all just started going back to school. But the school year is about to be over. And at the end of this school year, I will have a sophomore, a eighth grader, and a seventh grader. Lord, help if you listening. Help. But yeah, it's just, I know I keep saying it like every other episode, but it's really hitting me that these kids are about to be grown. Like they're about to be grown. They're about to be like in society, like being grown-ups and stuff and doing grown-up things. And as much as I'm excited for it, I'm still like, those are my babies. Like I don't want to let my babies go. And that's kind of what this topic today is about. So today we're going to be talking about letting go. And what I mean by that is letting go of these children when it's time. Um, Not trying to keep them close to us, keep them in the nest. If they're wanting to and they're prepared to be on their own. And even before they reach the age of adulthood, just knowing when it's time to like loosen the reins a little bit and let them explore who they are, let them explore experiences by themselves and do things that we may like at first say like, well, no, you can't do that, or no, that's probably not the best idea. But really just embracing the fact that our kids are growing up and at some point we will have to let them go and we cannot keep them, under lock and key forever. So that's what today's episode is going to be about because I wrestle with that a lot. And I've already, done things like to kind of just like take my hands off the wheel and trust them, and then also to trust that I've done all I can do as their parent to teach them right from wrong, teach them discernment, stuff like that. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about that. I got some a couple of experiences, examples to share with you guys. So hopefully this encourages the next mom. Just know that, like, I feel you, especially, like, if your kids are the same age as my kids and it's starting to creep up on you that they're for real growing up and you very well may be like an empty nester soon, depending on what they choose and what path they take. Like, you are not alone. I feel the same way you feel. And it seems like when they were little, I was always wishing them like, man, I wish they get bigger so, they can walk on their own or put on their own clothes or feed themselves. And then when all that came and they didn't stop growing, I was like, I want time to slow down. Like I want them to stop growing up so fast. But now, you know, the wheels of time started turning, so now it's happening. So it and I think about it every day and I'm like, man. But it does make me want to cherish the time that we spend more and spend more time with them. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, to start, I want to say that I did do an episode a little while back last year, and I want to say it's called Ready for the World, where I talked about preparing your kids like for life on their own, like in life without you and stuff like that, and stuff that I was doing like to kind of help prepare my kids like for the real world. So, piggybacking off of that, so even though as moms we have those thoughts in our minds like, you know, we don't want our kids to grow up or we don't want them to have to face like all the things that life may throw at them. We kind of just want to keep them like in a bubble here, keep them under our wing for as long as we can. But even I know, and I'm not naive to the fact that someday, like, they will go on their own and go their own way. But I want them to be prepared as possible. Um, I know that while they're young now, I have to start letting them experience things on their own. So, for example, right, I'll give you guys a couple of different examples. So, for my boys, right, my boys are in sixth and seventh grade, and most recently, they've been wanting, like, to go to the movies with friends. They wanna walk home from school instead of taking the bus, things like that. Um, go over their friend's house and hang out and stuff. So, for me, initially, I was like, "No," because no to all those things, no. Because it's not what we're used to doing. Like it's not our routine. And I with that type of activity, like I can't ensure like your safety. Like I can't be sure that you'll be safe. Um, so that's my thought process when they're asking me these things and I hesitate. But then like I had to sit myself down and be like, Joy, you can't do that because I know for sure, like, my parents didn't raise us like that, like and especially, like, we lived in a different generation, so there wasn't, like, all these things to keep us entertained in the house, like, outside was the entertainment, so my parents encouraged us, like, "Yeah, go over to your friend's house. Oh, you wanna go here? How you gonna get there? You guys got a ride? How you gonna get back? Okay, cool." Um, so I had to sit myself down and I was like, "Joy, you can't do that. You can't limit their experiences." um in life just because like you're afraid that it may be unsafe or you don't have like full control over what happens because regardless of what they're doing, whether you say yes or not, like you still don't have any control. Anything could happen. So I had to sit myself down and have that talk and because I don't want it to ever come up where my kids were like, "Man, when I was growing up, I couldn't do nothing, cause my mom was scared for me to do everything." And I don't want that for my kids, and I don't want them growing up saying that about me. So, um, so for this example with my boys, so my youngest son, he wanted to go to the movies with one of his friends. And so I'm asking him all these questions like, okay, like, how are you gonna get there? How are you gonna get home? Um, is the other kid's parents staying with you guys at the movie theater? All this stuff. And, he's getting me the information, and he tells me that his friend's mom's not staying with them. So immediately I'm like, okay, so who's gonna stay with you? I'm thinking well, in my mind, I'm like, I want them to have, adult supervision. But then I'll like again, like I had to just take a breath and be like, Joy, like he needs to do things on his own. And And I really think that all this comes from the fact that me and my kids have been glued to the hip for so long. Like it's been me and my kids since they came out the special place. Since they came out the womb, like it's been me and my kids. We do everything together. Like that if you see me like and you don't see one of them with me, then that means like I'm on my way to work. Or something like that. Like I'm on my way somewhere where they can't come with me. But other than that, like all around, like if I go anywhere in the city or if I do anything, like one of my kids is with me or all of them. So for me, it's like them wanting to do things without me, and that's okay. But it's like I kind of hesitate and I'm kind of afraid because I'm like, well, I'm not there to watch you or make sure you're good. But I had to let that go, y'all, because there just are things that my kids need to do and experience on their own. And I can't always manage that or micromanage or helicopter parent them and all that stuff. So when it comes to that, like them going out places with their friends and stuff, I just have to trust that I did my due diligence to teach them like right from wrong, how to act when they're in public, like what to do like in case of an emergency. Like I just have to trust that I've instilled that in them and they'll know what to do if, something comes up. And yeah, and the worst didn't happen. He went to the movie with his friend. He got a ride home. He enjoyed himself, and that was that. And then another scenario, my son Solomon, he wants to start walking home from school some days. Not every day, but when he wants to hang out with his friends and stuff, he wants to walk home so that way he can have more time to socialize and stuff like that. And at first I was like, "Oh, hell no. No." Because, um, from the distance from our home to their school, driving distance, it's like a 10-minute drive. But walking, it's a minute, like, it's a pretty good walk. So that was number 1 because 'cause I'm like, "It's gonna take you guys way too long to get home." And there's just too much space between the school and home for something to happen. There's lots of big streets they have to cross, like all that stuff. So I was not messing with that idea at all. I was like, no, 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 you cannot walk home. Um, and then like a couple of days later, my son text me, like, pleading his case. He was like, "Mom," he was like, "I really wanna walk home, even if it's just once a week. I really, want to get better at socializing, and I want to spend more time with my friends after school, and we walk the same way home, and, Hari's okay with it too, and if it could just be 1 day a week, like, I'd be okay with that." And so I'm like, how can I say no to that? Like, how can I say no to that when he presented a pretty solid case for him wanting to walk home and he's wanting to socialize, which is something that I love for Solomon because Solomon has had such a rough go with his middle school career where he's just like trying to get his footing and he's finding people like who he can connect with. So I've prayed for that and that's a blessing and I don't want to take that experience away from him because I'm scared. I'm scared, if my sons walk home by themselves, that something may happen and I don't have any control because at least when they're on the bus, I could track the bus. I can look on the bus app and see where the bus is and see, how far they are from home. Um, and if anything happened on the bus, like I know that I would be notified. But if something happens to them while they're walking, yes, I can see their location, I can see where they are. But if something happened where either of them can't reach out to me, then how long will it be before someone reaches out to me to tell me something's wrong? But then I had to collect myself again and pull myself like, Joy, you're you're worrying about things that may not even come to pass at all. Um, my therapist calls it irrational worries. She says that I'm an irrational worrier. Where like some worries, yeah, are rational. Like you can have rational worries, genuine worries and like need to like kind of think it through. But baby, I be out here having irrational worries. I be thinking the worst. I be thinking a whale's gonna fall out of the sky on my son. Like just crazy stuff. And but again, I just had to remind myself like I need to trust my kids. I need to trust my parenting. I need to trust that they know what to do because I've taught them what to do. And even though like, kids mess up just sometimes just like everyone else, I still have to be secure enough in my parenting to know that I've done all that I can do. If something happens or a mistake is made, we go back, we talk about it, we reinforce, and we proceed accordingly. But I can't keep them cooped up in a bubble their whole lives. And I want them to experience life. The same way I was able to experience life as a kid, I want them to experience life the same way. Um, and then lastly, with my daughter, with baby girl, um, yeah, all my kids, I would go to the ends of the earth for sure. All my kids, I would catch a case for. All of them, hands down. There's something about that baby girl. It's something about that girl where it's like, I don't want her to have a bad day. Like, I don't want her to experience anything negative. Like, I don't want her to experience a breakup, heartbreak. Um, I don't want anyone to harm a hair on her head. Amen. Um, so when it comes to her, I'm very, very, I try not to be too overprotective. Um, Sometimes it just kinda, like, comes out, but, yeah, I try as much as possible to let her grow into, the woman that she's gonna be, and in order for her to do that, she needs to have experiences, and those experiences need to be not with me, and that's the only way that she's going to know, like, how to handle herself as a woman. So, um most recently, she just went out of town to go tour colleges in San Diego. And when she came to me, immediately, like, I thought I was like, this is cool. Like, this would be great for you, a great opportunity to kind of get out there and see what's what. And then my next question was, do they got opportunities? Can I be a chaperone? Can I come on the trip with you? Amen. So that way, we can experience this together. And also, too, I can keep an eye on you, make sure you're good. And of course, she's not thinking anything of it. She's like, yeah, like you can chaperone, like I'll bring you the paperwork because my daughter, again, like I said, like we've done everything together since the beginning. So she's not really tripping about it. But then I was like, Joy, like you can't be there all the time. Even though like I could have been there, I was like, I think this is something that I want her to experience on her own because especially like when it comes to her picking colleges and stuff and where she wants to, spend her her first years as an adult, I'm sure she values my opinion, and if she wants it, I would give it to her. But I don't want anything that I think or I deem to be, like, either good or not good, stuff like that. Like, I want her to make her own decision. I don't want to sway her decisions in any way based off of my beliefs or what I think. Um, I want her to make the decision on her own. And I know that the only way she'd be able to do that is she had this experience on her own. So I let her go. And I think that that was the best thing that I could have did for her because she's taking in everything with her own mind and her own perception. And she can kind of make of it what she wants to make of it and make decisions and stuff from there. Maybe after this experience, like in other experiences after, because I know she'll have more, she'll decide that, maybe I do want to stay close to home. Maybe this is a little too far. Or she may have the adverse thought that this is great. Like, I really love it here. And it's actually, it's not so bad being away from mom. I miss her, yeah, but I think I could do this. So that's the, that's what I want them to experience. That's what I do not want to take away from them. Because I know when I was growing up, some of the things that situations that I had to handle, like, on my own, like, when my parents weren't there, I feel like I handled them well because of how I was raised and what my parents taught me, and granted, like, when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time well, me and my brothers, we spent a lot of time by ourselves because our parents worked all the time. So and my parents wasn't I mean, they well, I don't remember any field trips my parents chaperoned, but, yeah, like, we went places and did things on our own, and when I was in school, I was in the band, so I traveled, to the other parts of the state and stuff, without my parents there. And yeah, like those were experiences that I needed because I knew that at some point, like I wouldn't have my parents and I would have to make decisions on my own. So that was a good experience for me. So and I didn't want to take that away from them. So in essence, mama is like, we just have to let them go at some point. And even if you have small kids, like, even if you have smaller kids and, maybe they want, like, you take them to the park and they want to, like, they don't want to hold your hand anymore and they want to kind of play on their own and make friends and stuff at the park without you, like, standing right next to them, like, while they're playing, like, that's okay. Like, you can go sit down where you still have line of sight to them, you can get to them quickly and just let them explore being a kid and, social interaction, stuff like that. And it can be like as small as, you know, letting them go with a friend to the movies or anything like that. So yeah, so I've been really like, especially as they're growing and they're coming into their own and there's new experiences coming up, um, I'm really holding on to that thought that like I've given my kids, I know I haven't given them all the game, but I feel like I've given them enough game for them to know like right from wrong. To discern whether a situation is like it's not the best situation and they should like exit stage left. Um, I feel like I've done enough of that. Like my kids have sense. Amen. And I feel like I've instilled that in them to where like they wouldn't just find themselves in trouble or in a situation every time they go out somewhere or every time they're not with me. So I got to trust in the fact that I'm doing a good job as a mom and I'm raising them right. And that just has to be what it is. So if nothing else, mamas, I hope that this episode encourages you and remind you that you are doing your best as a mom. You are raising the kids to the best of your ability. And at some point, we do have to let them go and show us how well we did as parents. Because their actions, their behaviors, their words will be a direct reflection on how you've raised them. And we have to be secure in that and stand on that. So just keep that in mind. And I know it's hard, but we got to loosen up the reins a little bit on them, especially as they get older, because we do want them to be functional adults. We do want them to make sound-minded decisions when they get older. We do want them to choose friends and relationships wisely. So the only thing that we can do on our end is model that for them, and talk. Keep lines of communication open, stay in the loop. Um, be that place for them to land on, like when life does get hard and, they may need like a reset. Like, it's okay to let go, but always have your door open. Amen. And I thank God that those were the type of parents that I had, because Lord knows that I've been through so much. And for me to have both of my parents where like I could always come to them, I knew the door was always open if I needed advice or I needed someone to talk to, or I just simply needed like to come back to home base. Like, that door was open for me always. And I appreciated that. And I think that as our kids grow, that's enough. Um, just so that way our kids know that the door is still open and they're not shut out completely. Like, as soon as they turn 18, like, that's it, you're on your own. Maybe some parents do, like maybe some parents are just like, you're 18, bye, like that's it. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with letting your kids know, like, hey, I'm here. Like, whatever you need, like, we can discuss it, we could talk about it, come up with a plan, but just know that, like, you're not out here alone. Like, unless I'm not here physically, on God's good green earth, amen. Um, I'm gonna be here until I'm not here. But that's pretty much it, mamas. I'm gonna go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And shout out to the new subscribers. Got a couple new subscribers. So welcome to the hood. Amen. Got a couple new followers on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. All are welcome. And I just want to thank you guys so much for the support. Um, our story time, our journey with autism is still running up. And then also to the episode before this one, Protect Your Heart, that one is running up too. So thank you so much. I'm hoping that these episodes are spreading awareness, giving y'all some information, because that's all I want to do is help mamas everywhere kind of just navigate these complexities that we face regarding our kids, our health, our well-being, all that good stuff. So I hope and pray that this is helpful for you. And if you found this episode helpful, please don't forget to share it with another mama who you think would also find it helpful. Also, too, follow me. I'm on Instagram at motherhood_is ghetto. You can follow me there, keep up with me and the kids there. You can watch episode clips there. There's a couple of links there to interviews that I've done with other parenting podcasts. So you could check those out. Also, too, don't forget to follow the show. Amen. If you're listening on Spotify, hit that follow. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I need you to hit that follow too. Amen. And if you are watching this and listening on YouTube, I need you to subscribe. I do. So please do so if you haven't already. But thank you, mamas, so much for tuning in today. And until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_is ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.